Slušaj me pažljivo. Sprema se nešto veliko.
Želim da znam o čemu se radi u filmu.
So, a Serbian film. Yeah, I'm reviewing this. Thing is though, on this channel, this isn't going to be like a regular thing. I'm not going to be uploading reviews of lots of crazy movies, like controversial things that have been banned and etc. But this, God, yeah, this is one of the ones that on lists of disturbing movies, it tends to be up at the top. And because of the stuff in it, it sounded horrible and I didn't want to go near, but I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. And so I watched it, and yes, it was horrible. It really, really was horrible. There were scenes in it that honestly made me sick to watch. I think it's almost kind of like a shame I didn't do a reaction video to it like I did with my Game of Thrones videos, because I can remember this sort of the ways I was reacting to some of the scenes probably could have looked hilarious, but those scenes, my god, just the ideas in this film are just, they're insane. They really are insane. But the thing about it, as horrible as it is as a movie, I don't think it's a bad movie at all. I think it's actually a really well made movie, and which really surprised me. Because, I mean, for one, I think it doesn't go straight into the really horrible stuff straight away. I mean, okay, I mean, in the first minute of it, there is a sex scene, and I guess that kind of just shows you what sort of a movie you might be watching. But little to people without knowing, if someone were to watch it without knowing what sort of a movie it would be, they'd just think, oh, this is just some sort of a weird sex movie. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about there, but someone probably wouldn't think much of it at that point. But I think even just that scene, it's not. It's almost like there isn't like no need for it. It does sort of, I don't know, give you some information about the main character, just the sort of, well, the job he used to have, but yeah, it shows that, but they do show quite a lot of that of just in his porn videos, just doing his stuff, but yeah, I mean, there are times when like he's watching it himself with his wife, and there's a point where his brother is watching it, and in the first scene his son is watching it. I mean, just everyone is watching his stuff. It's pretty weird. I think it's actually quite an interesting storyline. I think that the premise to it sounds stupid, like really stupid, but the actual overall storyline to it, I think, is actually quite good. Got this guy Vukmir who asks Mios. I don't know how his name is actually pronounced. I don't even know how the director's name or writer's names are pronounced. It's in Serbian. That's named. But yeah, he asks him to be a part of something that he's working on, and Mios is very I don't know. He's concerned about the thing. He doesn't know what the whole thing is about, which is right. He doesn't go straight into the thing. At first he declines to be a part of the whole thing. And I'm almost thinking, because before watching it, I knew the sort of things that would be in it, and I'm thinking, oh god, why couldn't you have just left it there? Because I don't even know the actual specific details yet at that point. But then again, he realized maybe it might be a good idea. Maybe it will be good for his family. Like and as I said, it's well made in the way that there's this scene I remember from it where he's just on his own at a table and he sees some family, which just makes him think about his family at that point. It's just a simple thing, but there are things like that in it that are effective. I think also the editing to it is actually quite good. Like there's also this one thing where he gets a phone call telling him what to do, and then he also and then he goes to the place and he starts. I think it was for his first day. I don't quite remember. But instead of doing those in two separate things, it's meshed into one. So there's a voiceover of the person telling him what he's going to be doing while he's going to the place. So I think is a good idea to do something like that. And then there's also the editing of, like, there's a montage of him running, and then there's also this and cutting to him like meditating or something like that, sort of in preparation for going out to do the job that he has to do. And also some music plays over, which actually I think the music to it is actually really quite good. The theme to it is actually somewhat famous. It's pretty, I don't know how to describe it really, but it's very fitting for the movie's tone. It's the actual theme that people know. It only plays at the very end, and once that starts playing, it really gets the feeling of the film. Once it's just finished, and it's quite a weird feeling. But then that theme sort of done in a sort of a slow version is played while the montage of him running and meditating is on, and it sounds quite good, I think. But then there are also times when the music really helps with the scene. That alone the idea to it is horrible, but then just the music, and then even the sounds to it, the sound effects and whatnot, like, really help it. Like, I think with a horror film, I think it's very easy to just really shock people and just put everything out there, and with no effort. But there is effort put into this stuff. Like, all the things, like the camera work, the lighting is all done really well, and really makes the whatever different scene, it makes it even more effective than it would normally be, and makes it that more horrifying, I think. Yeah. So also, like I said, it doesn't go straight into the violent stuff and the dark stuff straight away. There is quite a slow progression to it. I think from maybe half an hour in or so, there is a sort of a weird feeling, and I think that's quite good, because I mean, still for a good bit, you don't know what is actually going to happen, and just that feeling of something dark is going on, and Milos is going into something, and he doesn't understand what it is that he's going to be going into altogether. It's really quite good. And actually, also another thing, I suppose, just a small thing, there are some times here and there that I suppose just quite good location using, I think. I don't know, say like people talking in various places. I think those places look quite good. So what also kind of surprised me about it was the direction it went, where it kind of turned into a whole sort of psychological horror, because um what Mios goes into, it really affects him, and he's kind of trapped in the thing that he's in, and there is meant to be some sort of deeper meaning behind the whole thing. That maybe all the movie is a metaphor for the state of the country or something like that. Um, I'm not really quite sure what to make of that. It's I don't really know. I didn't really get anything from that. I didn't get any hidden meanings, but I still think the idea of someone being trapped in a specific place, I think, is a horrifying idea, and it's played out brilliantly, I think. I mean, of course, horrible, but still effective. And then the ending. I mean, if you don't care about anything, then if you don't care about spoilers, then I guess watch on. But if you don't want to know the ending, then I guess just skip on to this point. So, with what Mios and his family goes through with the end, my God, is that horrible! Throughout the movie, things just keep on hitting you with just this horrible scene and this horrible scene, and then oh my God, his family. He's still drugged up at this point, and oh God, he starts raping his son, and then his brother is raping his wife. Oh God, and then he finds out, and then what they do actually. There is a feeling of kind of relief because they fight back and they actually kill the people who were responsible for the whole thing. And at that point, the Gorum kind of like, yeah, push him, and I mean his brother as well, and actually even gives him some extra stuff when he comes back to the place, and he finds his body's still there when he just remembers everything, and he's just like, oh yeah, he's still there, and then he just bashes it in. I mean, there's no need for it, but he's still releasing his anger out of the realization of everything that happened the night before. Because my God, that night before was just a complete blank, and yeah. But how could that family ever survive a life after that? I don't know. I honestly could not say what a life could be like after experiencing such a thing as what they went through towards the end of this film. I mean, you just see when they're in the house, they're trying to live a normal life, but just the looks on them, they're kind of almost like, what's the point in going on? And eventually they just decide to kill each other because they just can't go on. It's a depressing ending. It definitely is depressing. And then, I mean, just to add on to that, these other people who actually I had forgot are in it earlier on, but they come back and they're videoing them, and then they see that they're dead, and then, oh my God, one of the people just says, just start with the little one, and then that's the end of the movie. There's this idea of, although what was attacking them, or the thing that they were trapped in, seems to be over, it's not. And just to be left with a feeling of that it's almost like no hope or something. It's really dark. It's really dark. And that's the thing. Like you've got in this movie, you got these things that happen. Like you got the fucking necrophilia, like raping someone, cutting off their head, and still, oh Jesus Christ. And then I'm not even going to go into all of these things. I just don't want to think about them. To just know that there's this thing of that it almost will never end. It's, I mean, like, I think that also was sort of a good idea in a way. As weird as that may sound, but I don't think all movies should have a happy ending, especially a horror movie. I think a horror movie should leave you feeling with, I don't know, thinking about what just happened, and that maybe things that happen in said movie could still happen. Just that there is that feeling of just something still being out there, even though it seems to be stopped. Like the idea actually, like in Halloween, like it just evil can never die. It's interesting. I think it's a Serbian film. It's a really interesting film, definitely. Will I ever watch this again? I honestly have no idea. I definitely would have no intentions of seeing it within this year or the next, or I don't know. I doubt I would see it ever again. I might. I mean, but it was a hard thing. It was hard to sit through for sure. But it was still good. It was really good. I don't know if I could recommend it, because I'd say a fair bit of people who might start watching this would stop. But yeah, recommendable. I don't know if you're into gore fests, whatever, and messed up imagery. Yeah, sure, go ahead. But the thing is, I think it is a bit more than that. I don't see any deeper meaning behind this, but I still think it's executed really well. It could have been done. The same idea could have been done in just a very easy way, with not a lot of effort put into it. But this, from my viewing of it, I can see that a whole lot of effort is definitely put into it. I haven't mentioned actually the acting to it. The acting to it is actually really good. Like the the acting of Vukmir was probably the best and the standout. Like the ideas that he has as a person in the film are obviously horrible, but the way he says these things, you can see that he's insane, and then Minos actually says, "I can see that you're insane," and I don't know if, yeah, I'd say probably would say something like that. So yeah, probably was necessary to have him say that. But yeah, they're just, God, it just the way he says his stuff, it's weird. Just the performance he has, like it's brilliant, but it's creepy as well. And then Milos as well is also, he's a very good lead as well. Like I think maybe just a time or two. Like I remember there's this one bit where music is playing for a long time, and then he I don't know, he screams or cries or something, and just, I don't know. Maybe it's the editing's fault or something, but it just comes across as a bit weird. But I don't know. That's that really. But yeah, actually, negatives. There is that. Just the performance there, or maybe it is the editing. I'm not really too sure what it was. But then I remember there's this other point where the acting, it does come across just a bit weird. And then I'm not really too sure what to make of the around the ending. It goes a little bit ridiculous, but yeah, I'm not really too sure how I'm meant to react to it, because it kind of becomes unrealistic, just what someone does. But yeah, I mean, that's that. Some things in it are a bit over the top, But yeah, in the end, good movie. I didn't enjoy watching it, but I liked it. I definitely liked it. So that's all I have to say about that. Yeah, as I said, I don't think this is gonna become a regular trend. I'm not gonna review many disturbing movies or whatnot, but definitely more horror movies to come. I'm a big horror fan, and there are some horror movies I definitely like to review. So yeah, more horror to come in the future. So that's all from me. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.